Welcome back to the morning show. It is 7:25 on Wise Guy Wednesday. Matt Sellen is here, and today we're talking about the science of humidity. We notice that when we turn the heaters on in the wintertime, the air in the house gets real dry and we're kind of itchy and stuff.
It's itchy and you get static electricity. And
that's the fun part.
Yeah, and you feel colder. And I just got to show you, this is an experiment you can do. The reason that you feel cooler when the humidity is very low is that means that water has an easier time evaporating from your body. And I just have this thermometer right here.
Okay.
And if I just get this thing wet, and then I wave it around a little bit, if you can put the camera on the digital thingy.
Right here?
Up here. Up.
There you go.
Go.
That's what we're looking at right
there. We go. Okay, well, you didn't see it, but it started out at room temperature, which is about 22 degrees, and it went down to 18, just from the fact that the tip of this thing got wet and the water evaporated. Okay, and water evaporates, the rate of that is determined by the relative humidity. If you have 100% relative humidity, water would not evaporate at all.
Okay.
So that's why when it's very dry, you feel cooler. And so what you can do is you can actually save money heating your house by having the correct humidity in your house, because if it's too dry, it feels colder than it really is. And then you have to crank up the thermostat and you waste energy and you waste money.
Is there a point, we've got a kind of a humidifier of sorts here, but if you've got a humidifier in your home, are you in danger of making the humidity too high, like summertime humid?
Well, I suppose you could, but usually you have these humidistat things, and you set that to the little comfort zone, which means about 50 to 60% relative humidity, where people feel the most comfortable.
Okay.
And so there are different kinds of humidifiers that you can buy, and I just thought this was kind of cute. One of the there's the obvious ones which just kind of boil water, right, and the water gets hot. Then you can get these things which are ultrasonic. They're called cool mist humidifiers, and what they consist of is a little tiny diaphragm that vibrates at extremely high frequencies, ultrasonic frequencies, and this thing vibrates so quickly that it basically makes the water surface vibrate very, very quickly, fast enough to send little tiny droplets of water into the air. Okay. And so the way this works, which is the same way that your humidifier works, but I got this a lot cheaper because it's a Halloween gag.
Same technology, different
same exact technology,
yeah.
Is that this thing is now vibrating like crazy in there, and you see this mist. And what mist is just really tiny little drops of water.
So you're making fog, basically.
So basically you're making fog, which is little tiny droplets of water, and then the way your humidifier would work is there's a little this stuff is sort of just blown out of the thing.
Right.
And the only thing you got to be careful of with this kind of humidifier is that you have to put clean water in there, because you're aerosolizing everything in the water. So if you have bacteria and other sort of junky stuff in the water, you're going to end up breathing it in. So some of them will have ultraviolet lights and things built into them.
Because I've seen in stores decorative kind of versions of this, like little shell bowls with the fog stuff rolling out. So it's all the same thing.
Yeah, it's all the same sort of thing, and it's easier than using dry ice.
Okay, now something like this though is really, how effective is this going to be to even humidify a room? You're going to have a bunch of them, or how does that work?
Well, usually they have pretty high capacity, and you can look at the side of the box and it'll tell you, but I think one decent-sized humidifier can do a decent-sized room.
Okay, so you put a little humidity in the air, you're saving money, you're more comfortable, it's a win-win.
Exactly right. And since I'm a physicist, I just have to say, the whole idea of evaporation and relative humidity and all this stuff has to do with equilibrium. And you touched on that when you asked why you can get more moisture in warm air, and I didn't have time to really explain it, but equilibrium and thermodynamics is really, really fun, and I love that stuff. And so what I wanted to do, though, what I mentioned in the last segment was, you can build a humidity meter, or a hygrometer is what it's called, and the way that they used to build these things was with materials like hair that actually changed length depending on the humidity.
So you've issued a challenge.
Right, so a challenge would be for anybody out there to build any device at all which registers a response of any kind based on the change in humidity using a human hair.
Okay, and if you pick the one that is built that you like the best, they'll be on the show with you.
Exactly, you can come here and show it off.
Matt Sellen, the Wise Guy, here on the morning show. If you've got any questions for Matt, you can email him at our website or his, or you can leave a message on our feedback line. Jennifer, Ann?
Now might be the best time to plan a spring vacation. Details coming up in our Get Out of Town segment. Also